How do you get that preconditioned way that we think about, the baseball way that we think about sex and relationships, like this, then this, then this, then this, then success? If you're being present to what your experience is, what your body isn't thinking, okay, when should I have sex with this person? That's a mind thought. Your body is thinking, what would feel good right now? For example, the situation in the nightclub that I just talked about, if the way that this person was feeling in the moment and the way that I was feeling in the moment, let's say I had somehow like convinced her to get in a cab with me and go home and we had sex, that would not feel good. We had like clothes off in the bed sex. And so if that person, even if she doesn't tell me, if she's not feeling completely safe and okay with that, that wouldn't feel good to me. That wouldn't feel good to her. That would just feel yucky. But that's our minds thinking, okay, we are supposed to get in the cab and go do the sex thing.
That's the goal.
Because that's the goal. We both have that in mind, and okay, that's what you're supposed to do when you like someone, right? We're kind of following the lead of what feels good to us. If someone says, yeah, I feel really attracted to you, it's like, yeah, like I feel that too. What does that mean to you? Like what's coming out? What would you like to do? I don't know what I would like. I feel like having sex would be great, but I'm not feeling close to you enough. Yeah, what would you want to do? In that moment, I could get mental and say, okay, what's getting in the way, and let me get that out of the way so we can go home. Or I could do authentically what feels good to me, which is, I'm really curious. Like my body wants to know if we were close, and if you did feel okay with this, what would it be like if the two of us were alone? Or if we were here, or like, where would you want to be with me? And it just got really juiced up from there. Following is really just kind of letting go with what's on your mind, all the goals that are there. Like that's the thing about like tantric sex is very like non-goal oriented. The goal is like, if anything, it's presence with one another. Yeah, it's closeness and pleasure really. It's really following your gut and following your instincts as far as what leads to this pleasure and closeness. It often does not look like the same kind of sex that you're used to seeing in pornography or whatever. It doesn't necessarily involve the same body parts. It doesn't necessarily involve body parts at all. Like it is just intense closeness and pleasure. It leads to different kinds of orgasms that you're used to seeing or experiencing. It leads to different kinds of pleasure that you're used to seeing and experiencing. It involves all the chakras. It involves your emotion. It involves your compassion. It involves your sense of will, but it also involves your sense of creativity, spiritual aspects of who you are. It can involve any and all of that. So it's really taking that closeness and pleasure to wherever it goes.
Yeah, I just thought of something. So this whole conversation has been just keep doing the U-turn and just go back to you. I'm feeling this erotic passion for you now. This is what's coming up for me. And I'm not sure where you're at. And I'm just curious about if you're even there with me tonight. Because I'm sensing, I don't know, an energy just seems to feel off. We've had great sex over the last few dates, and now I want to continue. But I feel like there's parts of you that are blocking the connection. Am I correct in my assessment? I want to continue this intimacy path that we have. Or perhaps if this is not the right path for you, then let's talk about it.
Yeah, but what do you like about the intimacy?
Yeah.
That's what comes up for me as far as the role
that's what
play.
you would say.
Right, yeah. That's me going towards pleasure and connection.
Oh, well,
Does that make sense?
yes, but that's because you're self-aware enough to ask me that question. So if I were saying that to you, okay, Percy, we've had some, great times in bed, but I want this other level of emotional connection and spiritual connection, if we're really supposed to be spiritually connected. And I want more closeness and pleasure. I want that, but there's energetic feeling that I'm getting from you that it seems like there's a couple of walls up. I don't know if I'm accurate. I'm just letting you know what I'm sensing.
Yeah.
Am I accurate in that, or what are you sensing?
I'm sensing gratitude for you saying that. And I want to know more about it.
Yeah,
And
because
if there are walls there, like, yeah.
Are there?
I would
Yeah,
love
what's
those
going
walls
on?
to go down.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just sensing some sort of block. Maybe your mind is onto something else at work or somebody else. I don't know. I'm just not feeling the same connection that we had.
What do you feel right now? Between me and you.
I'm feeling like the glass between us right now is a little bit cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because I didn't feel the connection through our text exchange a couple of days ago, and
Is that really what you're feeling, or is that?
Yeah. You know, women, we like to type a lot. And I know you don't like to put your fat fingers on the keyboard and type a lot, but I just felt ignored when I was trying to flirt with you over text, but I felt ignored because the text was never responded to. Try to call you, I didn't leave a message, and you didn't call me back. So I'm thinking, does he still like me? Does he still like me? And then tonight I'm sensing that something's off.
So I'll tell you what I'm feeling, if that's okay.
I would love to know what you're feeling.
When you're bringing up what you're feeling, it causes me to feel closer to you. And so right now, I feel like a connection where we're right here.
Yeah.
And there's a potential for connection.
That's what I want.
Right, okay. And I feel like that can be right here. And I also feel like there's something about the text and the mental focus on the text and that sort of thing that's getting in the way of the connection that we have right here, right now.
Yes. Because I built a story around your lack of responding, timely response. And I just may be going crazy with building the story because I feel so connected to you that every little quote unquote rejection, and I'm sure it's not a rejection. Yeah, it's not a rejection from your part. Yes, it's a fear of loss, fear of being rejected by you.
Oh, yeah.
Fear that you don't like me anymore.
Oh, wow. So, do you feel like right now that I don't like you? I just feel this in your body.
And now I'm feeling with your smile, and I'm feeling the energy. I'm feeling how you're receiving me and my vulnerabilities. It feels really good to me. And do you have an explanation of why you didn't text me back?
Yeah.
It's okay. Whatever the reason was, if you were busy,
I certainly have an explanation, and I would love to go into that. I also noticed that right now I'm wanting to feel this closeness, and I feel like, oh, that whole text situation, that's not what's juicy for me right now. What's juicy for me right now is what's here.
Yeah.
And I
like
want to enjoy
that.
this.
Okay, so you know where my fear was coming from, because I was looking for evidence on fear of rejection, fear of loss.
Oh, I'm here to accept you right now. There's
Okay, so you want
in this moment, there is no rejection. Right?
All right, so you don't want to reject me. All right, so you have an explanation for not responding.
Have to do with any rejection.
So I'm feeling much more connected to you, and I think what we need to do is tomorrow or some other day, we just need to speak about our expectations around text communication, because it's just such an area that can be so loaded with drama that I don't want to continue that drama.
Yeah.
Or my perceived drama. Let's park that conversation for later. But yeah, I like this connection we're having. Thank you. Thank you for hearing me out.
Yeah, of course.
So what landed for you guys when we just...
Your presence and openness to what Emily was saying, and also where that really manifested for me is when you wanted to get an explanation and you were really in this moment and wanted to continue exploring that.
You didn't get defensive.
Yeah, and you were really focused on like being in this moment and what's happening right now, rather than we address this, then we address this, then we do this.
So to share like my perspective on that, I felt like I wanted, and it sounds like from the words that Emily's saying, is that what she wants is closeness and pleasure.
Yes, closeness and
so
pleasure.
I'm like, closeness and pleasure, that's accessible right now. We don't have to have this intellectual conversation to get to closeness and pleasure. If we're going to have this conversation, it would be better if it were from a place of closeness and pleasure. I was being authentic about what, and it was also a follow up on the question too, as far as when to have sex. That was closest and pleasure.
That's like, okay, let's get to bed right now.
So it was just it was following what it felt like inside of me that I wanted, which was closest and pleasure, which didn't have much to do with the text message. Yet the text message was like welcome as part of the conversation. Yet there's something deeper beneath that text message that we both want. There's a direct path to that. So.
And that's the courageous vulnerability that I just shared, that I'm not feeling, I'm sensing something. Am I imagining this armor that I'm sensing between you and I?
Is the armor here right now?
No.
Yeah.
Some men would be like, no, nothing's wrong. It's
right.
all in your head.
And if I was like, stop talking about that.
Yeah.
Stop talking about that. It's in your head. Don't talk about it.
And that just
That's
creates
armor.
more. That just creates more
distance.
disconnection.
Right.
So the whole message is about turning it into you. Do the U-turn. What are you feeling?
I learned this when I was in a relationship. I totally knew something was off with my boyfriend at the time. What did I ask? I said, is everything okay? He'd say, yeah. But really I should have said, I'm not feeling like everything's okay. Can we talk about that? And I learned through trial and error in therapy sessions that I was totally asking a question that wasn't going to get me where I wanted to go. Like it wasn't going to deepen our relationship or address what was happening.
And he doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't understand courageous vulnerability. Somebody's got to be the leader.
Definitely did not. Yeah.
And you didn't understand. So you put two people that don't even understand how to get emotionally close. It's no wonder so many relationships don't work out.
Well, that's very consistent with the example that I shared about the relationship is that, I regret not saying, this is what's happening for me at the time. And there's the same fear that we were talking about. I've asked it exactly how you did, in the sense of, something seems off. Is everything okay with you? Versus what's, hey, that's not me owning my shit.
Right, right. This is the part that everybody's got to learn. If they just just say what's going on with you. And keep using the I language.
Right. And that is courageous vulnerability. Yeah, I think I like this question because it just gives an example of how when you are courageously vulnerable and talking about what's going on with you, it doesn't suck all the sex out of the room. It can actually make it a lot deeper and a lot more connecting and very sexy.
Absolutely. Because there's so many people in long-term relationships, if he won't open up, I've asked him. They didn't do it this way. They didn't say, I'm not feeling the connection. I'm feeling sad. This is what's coming up for me. I want more.
When there's a presence there and being in the moment at the same time, that deepens the potential for those, for the lower chakras to come in. Rather than, because you can say, I'm not, this is what I want. I don't like this. Versus, what I want, coming from a different place.
Yeah.
It's also coming from a place of pausing and checking in, as opposed to reactive. So I think that takes a lot of training to not be reactive.
I have some women friends who are going through this same thing that a lot of us go through midlife. Is he won't open up. We don't have really that emotional connection. Everything's boring. He's a great partner, a great father, etc. I keep asking him. Now, I'm not there when they're asking, but they're probably asking not in this kind of energy that we just exchanged. They're kind of, you.
You need to open up.
You need to open up.
Versus, I'd really like to feel closer to you right now. Whoa, that opens me right up.
Yeah.
If you are saying what's happening for you,
and also owning.
I'd like to feel closer too.
Yeah, but also owning, I'm realizing that I may have said things and communicated things in the past where I may seem a little controlling. And I'm thinking maybe the part of you just didn't want to go there because I didn't open up the space. I didn't surrender. I wanted to control the outcome. And I wasn't curious enough about you or what you're feeling so that you could feel safe to open up. I'm owning the fact that I probably had a big contribution to your feeling lack of safety. I want to work on that.
So that's really owning that you can't control whether someone else opens up, but you can open up.
Yes.
Right.
And to show that, okay, I got to be the model for opening up so that the other person feels safe to open up. If you don't start, how's the other person going to feel safe?
Thoughts?
That thing I'm taking away from today is just like the reminder to stay curious.